Well, I would say that of many initiatives which I'm aware, JPND probably is the most well perceived, and also from the organization point of view the most advanced. This one would say is true for political as well as for research sphere, and also from the clinical point of view, the idea of JPND is very nicely perceived. Probably one of the, this is one of the reasons why Slovenia only in this year, in 2015, hosts like 3 major events associated with dementia. The first one is Alzheimer Europe, the second one is Alzheimer's, European Alzheimer's Disease Consortium, and the third one is the Conference on Vascular Dementia. All of these events actually were somehow facilitated by JPND, being part of new Slovenian philosophy on neuroscience. Slovenian researchers actually were part of the first call. We participated in 2 studies, in the biomark APD and the DEM test, and both of them really facilitated the networking and the level and the standards of the Slovenian neuroscience. It's very interesting that recently, when we had recession and there were no so much monies for research, the researchers would write a letter to the ministry asking them actually to support the JPND initiatives. Well, there were very energetic initiatives like 3-4 years ago when JPND was established and the first call was there, but due to the recent recession and financial crisis, this support actually was more verbal than actual. However, sort of commendable are the reactions of the Directorate of Science in the Ministry of Science and Education and Sport, which really tries its best to get monies at least for the call for the oncoming calls in 2016. It's also very good that recently the Ministry of Health has expressed its interest in JPND, particularly in more clinical-oriented studies and also in the palliative care. So we've got now their verbal promise they would join the boat. Oh, I would say it's a really big one. For Slovenia, as a small country, we're only 2 million, the consequences of the first call were very, very great. Not only because they did sort of advance our neuroscience, but a very important thing was also extensive networking, which we did in the time of the first call. Probably JPND was the reason why we're quite successful now. Actually, we're one of the rare successful countries to apply for the teaming project. So we came into the first phase, and I think we are much more successful in applying in international calls. So one of our successes is also a project together with Norwegian, where we will try to establish a dementia-friendly city in one of the smaller cities in Slovenia, in Celje. And then, of course, a very important thing was that we somehow found the energy of young people. So it was really the JPND initiative to identify young leaders, so-called ambassadors of dementia. So we found an informal group of several of them, and two of them actually had very active role in the London G7 and JPND meeting, as well as in Geneva WHO ministerial meeting. Certainly, as a sort of newly emerged, rather small country, it's very important for our scientists as well as the politicians to make right priorities and values. And you know, being a part of a larger group of scientists as well as politicians certainly helps that you are doing the right choices. So being the part of the managing board of JPND is very, very important for us, particularly because of its philosophy. Actually, a scientist or clinician is forced to sit with his colleague and friend from the ministry. So the decision should be really logical, but also economically sound. The challenge is global. The action must be global, yours and mine.